Look out, Dragon Folk. It looks like Wizards of the Coast is actually starting to cease and desist a proxy website. And who knows? This will probably be the first of many to be brought down by the powerful company. Welcome on in, Dragon Folk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know I am. My name is Ashen Wings, and I'm here to talk to you about the reigning fist that is Wizards of the Coast, and something that I genuinely did expect to happen with the introduction of the Magic 30th Anniversary Edition, which is proxy websites being shut down. Now, of course, Wizards has to figure everything out in regards to this, right? They're not just going to Google proxy websites and be able to shut them down. There's a list of standards that your website has to actually be putting on these cards in order for you to be considered an actual, like, fake, essentially, or pretty much just a proxy website of using things that Wizards has made. So, for instance, in the situation of the Card Conjurer. Card Conjurer, they made a tweet recently saying that Wizards has sent them a cease and desist. That is essentially Wizards going, we don't want you to make business anymore because you are making cards from our game as fake pieces for other players to be played. And it would be one thing if it was just the genuine art, right? If it was just like full art things and whatever. But Wizards went after stuff like the mana symbols and the tap symbols, the borders, right? All the stuff. They claimed all of that under copyright of Wizards of the Coast. And because of that, anybody who's making these fake cards using those symbols, even if it's a different artist or different art altogether, if it's a different backing, doesn't matter. Card Conjurer is officially being shut down, and all of the code for it is being wiped away, simply because that is how this works. And, it is unfortunate for Card Conjurer, because Card Conjurer was also, if I recall correctly, a place where you could make your custom Magic the Gathering cards. And custom Magic the Gathering cards I see all over Facebook pages. Everybody trying to figure out what card might work well with art they've drawn, or maybe they want to see if there's a card that's too powerful, or maybe they want to try their hand at just building their own set of cards that they could eventually print out as fake cards and utilize in cubes of some sort. There are infinite possibilities with something like this, and now it is no more. So unfortunately, with Card Conjurer, you're now going to be seeing nothing from them. If I do recall correctly, there are plenty of other proxy websites that are out there, but at the end of the day, you also have to realize that they cannot stop proxies. Now, what they are stopping in this regard is really, really well done proxies. But Wizards will never be able to stop you, the player who wants to use proxies, from printing it out from your home, printing out take a picture from Scryfall, print it out on your printer, and then put that into your sleeve with an island in it or some kind of land, and play it in your deck. There is nothing stopping them from doing that. The problem here is that there are companies that are making money doing this, and that is where Wizards is trying to step in and do that. So I expect to see a lot of the places that do high quality proxies probably shut down pretty soon here. Maybe not immediately, but they definitely will be targeted at some point, especially since with the announcement of Magic 30 and the anniversary edition, a lot of people went out of their way to tell other people how to make proxies for a cheaper price. And because of that, a lot of names of a lot of companies got, thrown out there all over Twitter, all over Facebook, all over Instagram, over, forums and so on and so forth. So it is unfortunate to see something like that happen because these are people's businesses, right? And they are promoting other artists to make art for cards that have existed already. And it's all very clear that these cards are fake, but because a company is making money off of them, then that is a completely different thing. Now, I'm normally not one to like proxies. I don't really care for the idea of people using them. But I do understand where players are coming from in regards to certain cards wanting to proxy, maybe wanting to practice with a deck without actually having the card. I see it sometimes in Flesh and Blood, where if you're just at a local on-demand event, that if you're trying to run a Crown of Providence, you can just ask your opponent whether or not it's okay to just assume that their headpiece is a Crown of Providence, even though it could be like a Iron Wrought Helm or a Hope's Merchant Hood or something. And that's just due to the fact that people want to play test that kind of stuff without spending hundreds of dollars. And that helps, get you a better idea of your deck and how it works. Playtesting is very hard, but I also think that more of the proxy community is seen in the casual scene than it is in the competitive scene. Because in the competitive scene, you're usually playing online, right? Maybe you might be playtesting with proxies, sure, but most of the time I would imagine you have the cards yourself to playtest with your friends and your opponents. But in the casual scene, normally it's because of Eternal Formats and Eternal Formats needing cards that are super expensive, like wanting to use dual lands or any kind of reserve list card. Maybe you're even looking at a expensive $50 card or something like that, and you don't want to spend $50 on the card because you're not sure how well it synergizes with the actual deck yet. Well, this is where proxies come in. And again, I just want to be specifically clear. It is unfortunate that these companies are being targeted and shut down, but just know that you can't always just print them out and put them into the sleeves like everybody did previously. It's really just the fact that companies are making money off of doing this. But that's pretty much it for the video. The cease and desist is for Card Conjurer currently. We may very well see other cease and desists throughout the time here. And the big argument here is everybody is going, oh, well, the fact that Wizards of the Coast is printing proxies in their Magic 30th thing, they're showing us that they want to provide the proxies, the fake cards, so people can utilize those instead of versions from a different company, right? Like official proxies is where Wizards might want to go, some people would say. But if I'm being honest, and I always am pretty much, I don't entirely view the Magic 30th edition cards as proxies. I do believe that if you are to grab one and use it, then you can use it as a proxy, right? Obviously, that is a purpose that it does serve. But Magic 30 Anniversary Edition is a collector's item. And while it sucks and is literally like the stupidest way you can do a collector's item and the stupidest way that you could promote something like your 30th anniversary, I don't believe that these are Wizards' way of going, here's a $1,000 worth of proxies. Have at it. And that's simply because that if it was $1,000 of proxies not in booster packs and it was the entire set of beta, nobody would have called them proxies. And I do truly mean that. Nobody would have called them proxies. But the reason that they want you to pull them out of booster packs and then maybe even try to utilize them for drafts of sort, therefore wanting them to become game pieces, I mean, for God's sakes, they're double printing the dual lands in Magic 30 Anniversary Edition. That is not a necessary move they needed to make unless they planned to make them proxies, right? And that's where I'm oddly torn about this, right? Is I don't truly think that they made them for the sake of them being game pieces. Even if I got a Magic 30 dual land, I wouldn't use it because it's gonna go for something a lot more than what a 25-50 cent proxy of Volcanic Island is gonna go for. So that's where I'm personally torn on the matter. I know everybody's got their own opinion on it. Frankly, my whole standpoint is just don't buy it, right? Don't buy this. Don't buy Magic 30. Support local artists if they've got cool little things for like tokens or so on and so forth. If you need to proxy something, I would personally proxy it the good old fashioned way of getting a printer, cutting out the piece of paper that has the image on it, and then putting it inside a card sleeve. Try to size it properly for the record, because there's some people who just take it and they just cut it out, and then they just like kind of it's like smaller than the actual card size, so the text is harder to read. Some people don't use the right print. You don't even have to print it in color. It's totally fine as long as you know what color it is. So I don't know. Proxies are a weird thing for me, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this. Do you think that it was a bad move for them to cease and desist Card Conjurer? Do you think they're going to go after for other companies for this exact same thing? Do you think that Wizards of the Coast is planning to make official proxies for their game and have players utilize those instead of other companies trying to make a buck off of it? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. You can also check the description for a Patreon link. Those are also there. You can always support the channel in that way, but it is not necessary. And I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.